This is Toledo Symphony Lab, a behind-the-scenes look at the world of classical music from WGTE Public Media and your Toledo Symphony. I'm Brad Cresswell. Joining me today are the Toledo Symphony's president and CEO, Zach Vassar, our music director, Alain Trudel, principal second violin and artistic administrator, Merwin Hsu, and the TSO's marketing director, Felicia Canny. So we have a full house today, everybody. And I want to begin the program by talking about a concert that is happening this weekend. It's Saturday, January 26th. Gotten a lot of press, a lot of buzz. It is the Toledo Symphony with Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. And I'm going to turn it over to somebody else here who wants to talk about it. But first of all, what is it? Do you know what it is?
Do you not know who they are?
I know who they are.
Well, you did some Wikipedia research, didn't you?
I did indeed.
Yeah.
I'm taking the place. I'm taking the place of all the folks listening who maybe have heard Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, but they don't really know exactly what it is, and they may be on the fence as to whether they're going to come to the concert or not.
So Big Bad Voodoo Daddy was the band that basically started the 1990s revival in swing music, and a lot of their songs were featured on a movie called Swingers. That starred Vince Vaughn in one of his first Hollywood outings, and it was so much fun. It was fun to listen to. You couldn't keep your feet still. And then many other bands came out, large and small, but they were the first, and they've never gone away. I think that big band renaissance has probably faded a bit, but they've continued to make outstanding albums. So I'm really excited to have them come here.
And now they're on tour, and they're teaming up with various ensembles, symphonies. I mean, it's always exciting to hear a big band done sort of in that big symphonic style.
But I want to caution against the idea that this is a Toledo Symphony performing with the Glenn Miller Orchestra. No offense to the Glenn Miller Orchestra, certainly, but this has a different brand of energy and rhythm. It's a very high-energy program.
Yeah. Anybody else want to talk about it? You have any familiarity with Big Bad Voodoo Daddy?
Well, a lot of people might not have known that they've also performed on Dancing with the Stars and for many U.S. presidents, too. So, yes, they brought back swing music in the 1990s, but there's some staying power there.
Yeah.
And
they were on The Tonight Show, too.
Yes.
They even did a Super Bowl halftime show.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Right.
So, fun night.
Okay. Well, let's get things rolling here. I prepared a big band quiz to sort of, get the ball rolling. Later in the program, we're going to do our little Ask Alain feature where we ask people to give us different questions for our music director who is here with us, and he's going to talk about those as well. We also have some questions from some of the kids, too, including your daughter, Felicia, which will be fun. A little music, get us started here. This is actually a Big Bad Voodoo Daddy tribute band, believe it or not. Don't have the real thing, but pretty close.
They must have a great name. What is the name of a Big Bad Voodoo Daddy tribute band?
Well, you just said it, the Big Bad...
Oh, that's it?
No.
I'd imagine they have something like
something like that. The name of this track, though, is Southbound Train, okay? All right, here are the questions. Number 1, who was known as the king of the clarinet? Was it A, Artie Shaw? Was it B, Benny Goodman? Or was it C, Woody Herman? Oh, Felicia?
Benny Goodman.
Benny Goodman.
Ding.
As a woodwind player, I feel like I had to.
Control your own soundboard over there.
Okay, all right.
It was correct.
Say Benny Goodman again.
Benny Goodman.
Benny Goodman. No, that's wrong, actually.
It's Artie Shaw.
It wasn't Benny Goodman. It's Artie Shaw.
Oh, Philly.
I like how you let Alicia jump out there and totally fall off that tree branch.
Did you just
call her Alicia?
Did I say Alicia?
You did.
Oh, let's go back. Say Benny Goodman again.
Hey, this is the third time.
Nope, that's wrong. Moving on. Number 2. Now we're talking again about Artie Shaw, Benny Goodman, and Woody Herman. Which of the above band leaders group was the first to play at Carnegie Hall? Which of those three, their band, was the first to play at Carnegie Hall? This is a famous concert, took place in 1938. Zach, what do you say?
That'd be Benny Goodman. It's an awesome concert, and they do something really funny called the history of jazz. So since this is only the late 30s, it's very interesting to figure out what they considered the history of jazz to be.
Wow.
Yeah.
Totally sold out Carnegie Hall. The ticket price was $2.75 a seat.
That's right.
Which nowadays is upwards of $50, so still cheap by even today's standards.
And many didn't know if they could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did it, though. And there's a recording of it, I believe.
Very good.
You can go listen to, yeah. So, which of the above, that means Artie Shaw, Benny Goodman, or Woody Herman, again, commissioned a famous composer to write a clarinet concerto? Who would that be? I know you know this, Alain.
That would be Benny Goodman.
Benny Goodman.
And the concerto would be Aaron Copland.
Aaron Copland's concerto, which he premiered on NBC Radio with the NBC Symphony Orchestra, conducted by Fritz Reiner. That happened in 1950. Okay, here's another one. This is a Benny Goodman question. Benny Goodman's theme song and his radio series in the 1930s was called Let's Dance. And you have to tell me who sponsored that song and sponsored that radio series. Was it Nabisco? Was it Keebler? Or was it Hostess?
Nabisco?
Good job.
We
Takes
bow
a
down
marketing
to you.
director to understand the branding implications of sponsorship. Well done.
Now, who can tell me what Nabisco actually stands for? It's a shortened version of 3 different words.
Not as bad as Crisco? No?
We should send that their way and see if they can make use of it. No, Nabisco, National Biscuit Company.
That's right.
The National Biscuit Company. And they originally started to advertise on this radio show because they were promoting a new product at the time called Ritz Crackers. So that was all tied up with Benny Goodman and his radio show.
So was Putting on the Ritz just a commercial?
Something like that, yeah. until Mel Brooks got a hold of it. Now, here's a Frank Sinatra question. Frank Sinatra famously said that he learned everything that he knew about breath control from, was it Billie Holiday, was it Tommy Dorsey, or was it Dizzy Gillespie? Go ahead, Zach.
The great trombonist.
Which one?
Tommy Dorsey.
That's right, Tommy Dorsey.
No, he said he learned everything he needed to know about breathing from a trombone.
Oh, yeah, I thought you were going to say Alain Trudel.
He is the Tommy Dorsey of the violin.
Yeah. But I mean, you got to be a good breather to play the trombone, right?
Tommy Dorsey was the best.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, fantastic.
Legend among trombone players.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but did he have a mouthpiece named after him?
Oh, he had the whole thing. Trombone named after him.
Trombone.
Yeah.
That's right. They don't even call it a trombone anymore. You're just playing the Dorsey. Yeah. So now everybody knows everything they need to know for the Big Bad Voodoo Daddy concert. That's happening this Saturday, January 26th, 8 o'clock p.m. This is at the Stranahan Theater, by the way, not the Peristyle. It's at the Stranahan. 419-246-8000 or ToledoSymphony.com. Okay, so now it's time for us to move on to the second part of our podcast today, and that is Ask Alain. We've done this sort of thing in the past, but we collected some more questions for you this time, Alain, and what we're going to do is play the Wheel of Questions, right?
Okay.
We'll spin the roulette wheel, we'll see what comes up, and we'll ask you a question. That'll be our point of departure, okay?
Okay.
Here's the first one. Let me turn up that spinning wheel a little bit.
The golden spinning wheel.
Yeah. Okay, question number 1. Is there a great composer who, for whatever reason, just doesn't speak to you? Someone who other musicians might be surprised that you don't really love? Alain.
I've been asked that question many times, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
And what do you say?
Just yesterday, actually, with Merwin.
Interesting.
We're talking about that. Yeah. And, my answer is a little different than what I answered to you yesterday. I said Nielsen. And I actually found a composer that, because, it has to be a composer that people know a little bit.
Yeah.
So Vaughan Williams, I would say.
Vaughan Williams,
yeah. It's kind of a close 1 and 2 there for me.
So we're not holding out hope for the Lark Ascending or something like that on the program.
Yeah, actually, the Lark Ascending is not, for me, is okay, but the the symphonies, and I have some colleagues who are like, Mike, they're in love with that stuff. And maybe, we talk in a few years, and I'll be, I mean, my general attitude towards this is that it's not them, it's me if there's a problem, because they're geniuses. They wrote those great pieces, but I don't know. It just doesn't speak to me right now.
You love green sleeves. You did green sleeves at your Christmas at the Peristyle.
That's not really Vaughan Williams, though. That's sort of like a... Vaughan Williams has that real kind of pastoral Christmassy feel to him. So that may be the time of year that you'll make an exception.
I also like the fact that Greensleeve is probably written by Henry VIII. Yeah. That's such a nice tune.
Moving on.
Wow, you gave that a really long spin that time.
That's a long one. I gave it a good whirl. You're at a jazz bar in heaven, and you can jam with any musicians you want, living or dead. So who's on stage with you?
Well, first of all, I'm happy.
First of all, it's a weird... I mean, I'm sorry, but you're obviously dead for this question.
So how does he play with anyone who's living then? Does that mean that he has to kill them too?
I guess so.
All things are possible.
So many things in that question right there.
Yeah, but the good news is I went to heaven. And I'm a professional musician.
That's a pretty good deal.
Whoa, what was that?
Mozart's obviously in heaven. Yay!
Yes. Mozart's there with you. Amadeus.
Let me think. Well,
you need me to read the question again?
No, it's okay. We have to put a band together, so we need a pianist. Let's say, maybe it's funny. First name comes to mind would be Thelonious Monk or Billy Strayhorn. I mean, they're totally different, but I would just love to sit down with Billy Strayhorn and hear what he comes up with. And Thelonious Monk's a language I identify with. And maybe a drummer for sure, Elvin Jones, the famous drummer, played with Coltrane. I wouldn't ask to play with Coltrane, although he's my idol. It's just I would totally joke. I would be like, wow. So maybe Wayne Shorter on saxophone would be great. Yeah. Wynton Marsalis, who's not dead, but maybe he could just do a little, zip through and then
out
get
of
back.
body experience. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Sometimes you wonder if he's just a real person with everything he does, and he plays like a god. So Joe Pass, that would be somebody, the guitar player, Joe Pass, big somebody I really like.
We should have put like a number limit on this. Like you can only have 5.
Why? It's a big band. We're rapidly approaching big band status.
Sorry, guys, but I have all the time in the world. I'm dead already.
That's true.
Anyway, so those would be some of those.
No Tommy Dorsey, huh? No competition.
No competition.
Okay, number 3. Let's spin that wheel. Okay, this is an audio daily double. This comes from Felicia's daughter, Mira, who has a question.
Can I buy a vowel?
Let's see what this is. Here we go.
Do you need big lips to play trombone?
We have lots of trombones at home. Let me just
show us your lips. Show us your lips, Alain. Give us a nice trombone amateur. No, they're pretty substantial. I mean that in a good way.
I don't know, actually. I mean, for me, it seems to work. I have some colleagues that have a little bit, less, but it's. I don't know what to tell you.
They're not quite as well endowed in the lip area.
Well, the thing that you do need lips, that's for sure.
I feel like this is a musical insult waiting to be created.
It'd be hard to play without lips. That's true. Okay, well, this is actually a question that I got from one of our social media posts. I had a conversation with a gentleman who, frankly, thinks that we've, gotten a little off course, that we don't talk so much about the behind-the-scenes aspect of what's going on. And, fair enough. So we're going to be really serious for this particular question. Here, let me bring up some serious music for it. Okay, now... Here's the question that I got out of his comments. What goes on before a performance as musicians are coming in? Are there any last-minute instructions, say, that you give them when they come in?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it's interesting. Before the performance, everybody's in their bubble getting ready to play the best performance that they can. And I think the worst thing you can do is to get in their bubble And to go and start, like giving micromanaging the coaching at the last minute, it's not a good idea. I just leave them alone. But you play as you practice. So if you've practiced well, then you can leave. People come on stage and they do what they have to do. For me, the most important part, because it's not about the performance. Really, for me, it's really the first rehearsal. I'm nervous before, and I'm like, well, especially if it's people you haven't seen for a while or you don't know, or it's going on a first date sometimes, or seeing somebody you haven't seen for a long time. And by the time we get to the concert, we've seen each other all week, so we have an idea of how we're going to do this together. And there's not much to be said. You just go out there and you do it.
So you've done your work ahead of time.
Yeah.
But paint a picture of backstage. I mean, are all the musicians together in a big room, or how do they get ready for the concert?
Now I'm picturing like a locker room.
Locker room. I come in and I say, every inch, it's a game of inches. and you give
But
Sunday,
you don't do like a pep talk before the show.
No, you don't. Actually, to make sure that people are, like for example, if I have to go and play, I like to have just a bit of time to make sure, my lips, whatever size they might be, are pretty. Actually, you know what? Actually, that's funny because I just thought in the winter it's different, right, than the summer physically, right? So you have to prep a little bit differently.
Or if you get accidentally hit in the mouth or something like that,
sure.
Right?
Yeah. And what happened to me once in a Schubert 9, the slide went out and came back, but not in the instrument. Yeah, bloody sides. But anyway, yeah. Anyway, but I think like the oboe players, they like to make sure their reeds are already on stage. Everything is ready to go. No, it's normal, and I think the strings is a little different.
Well, I think it's funny because every string player has a different warm-up routine, and I almost feel like I realized that, I always use the same few licks to warm up. And I think it's almost like bird calls. It's like, oh, wait, that's a Merwin warming up. You can totally tell.
The Merwin effect. Yeah.
This is interesting because as you're walking into the theater, you usually hear a lot of cacophony of different people playing their own things. Mm-hmm. I always presume they're playing something from that night's program that they just want to go through one more time. But you're saying that they have a routine that
I think everybody's different. And I think there are some people who really want to focus on a particular element that, and then there's some people who kind of want to do the same thing before every concert. I want to do these particular scales this particular way and feel this particular way. And some people are kind of, I know that measure 345 of this piece needs my attention, and that's what I'm going to do.
There is an unwritten rule that when you're on stage waiting to play, that you play what you're going to play that night, or you warm up. You don't start playing excerpts. You don't start playing other people's music, and that's kind of it's not a rule anywhere. But when we have people who start doing that, they're either totally inexperienced, or you're not going to see them for very long.
Oh, good to know.
Is that different? The prep before a concert for, let's say, a youth orchestra? Would you treat that differently? Of course. Would you give them a pep talk?
Yeah, youth orchestra, they get together and they have a little pep talk, and it's okay. And then,
hands in the middle.
And they're like, break.
No, but I mean, everybody has their own little thing. But, once you get to a professional level, everybody wants to make sure that they're in the optimum form. And also, when you're a professional, you're an adult, you have a life that's different than if you're a kid, right? You probably spend the day doing other things than thinking about your concert. You're with the family, you're running left and right, and you finally have 15 minutes to just, get yourself together and just play, right?
Well, I want to get some more questions from the kids. I know, Zach, you talked to your daughter Gracie, and she had a couple of questions. Mm-hmm. You want to pull one of those out for us now? We can.
So we were at a concert. We were at the family concert a week or so ago. It was de Style, and she asked me why Mr. Alain's stick is white.
Interesting.
Actually, good question. Well, and the reason that conductors have stick, and the reason why there are conductors is mostly opera. Because before, if you go back in the Baroque time or classical period of time, you didn't have conductors all that often, because the music was quite no, I wouldn't say simple, but simple to put together. And then the music got a little bit more complicated. And also you had people on stage, people in the orchestra pit, some people off stage. And then, we thought we have to put all of this together. Somebody has to stand there and give us a cue. And of course it's dark. And when you're in the pit, so white stick is a bit more practical.
You should put Christmas lights on it for you.
Yes, like a lightsaber.
Yeah. Lightsaber.
Trust the force.
I know that some conductors will wear a black shirt so that the baton is more visible. If you have a white shirt and you're conducting with a white baton, you might not be able to see it as well.
True.
Any thoughts on that?
Well, I have a general thought on clothing, which is kind of particular. It's just no, but
is it optional?
So no, but it's very serious, and your listener will like that. The one who wants us to be serious. Yeah. So in the 19th century, when people would go out to an event, would go out to a club, or would go out to, cigar club, and the days not go clubbing. But what they would wear would be tails and full dress. That was the menswear was that. So the orchestra wore that not to be underdressed on stage. Now, with the 150 years later, we're still wearing that stuff from the past century. And now we're super overdressed. And that helps create a certain barrier with that. So I have a big wish that hopefully in the future we can start being dressed a little differently. Something that will have some unity.
Yeah.
No. But so some show of unity because we're a group, but not necessarily something that the people can't identify with anymore.
Yeah.
Which we're 2 centuries after that.
But you want some sort of uniformity, right? I mean, you want them all wearing the same color or what have you.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll work on that. But
interesting.
So Merwin, I've heard some musicians tell me that putting on tails and a tie and a waistcoat, this is like their uniform that makes them feel invincible to play something really challenging. Do you have a comment about that? How is it for you?
I like tails. I feel they're more comfortable than a tuxedo jacket. I also feel they're more comfortable than a long tie. For me, I for some reason, I find that kind of restrictive. There's something comfortable about tails for me. I like the way they sit on a chair. But I think that...
Do you like the flair when you just...
Maybe it's the chair.
Maybe it could be the chair. But I think that there is a little bit something like if you're an athlete and you're putting on the uniform, it does, it feels like a uniform with legacy and like an usher.
There's a sense of history to it as well. Yeah.
For our Pops concerts, our musicians don't always dress that
at all
formally. And for our neighborhood concerts and when we play outdoors too, they're different outfits.
Merwin, did you have a question you want to relate from Kai, from your son?
Kai was very impressed by your Halloween concert, and he wanted to know if you were nervous when you were lying between 2 beds of nails.
No, wait, you have to set this up for us because I didn't see it. Now, what happened? You were lying on a bed of nails?
Oh, you can go on Facebook and catch it. It's there forever now. Yes.
Can you do that for every concert? I think that would be fantastic.
Our contract negotiation is coming up, so we can.
Good to know.
That might be exactly. 0.6 little b.
Little b.
So what we did for the Halloween concert that we partner up with Imagination Station.
I'm looking at a picture of it right now. Let me just describe this. If folks can find this on Facebook, maybe we'll link to it from our podcast episode. You are lying on your back. You've got like what looks like a bed of nails on top of you. Is there one underneath you too, or just
both? Yeah, they're like 4 inches.
Okay. And there's a gentleman on top of you from Imagination Station with a big cinder block sitting on top of it, and it looks like he's pushing down on it.
No, it's a sledgehammer.
Oh, he uses a sledgehammer?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Kai would like to point out that those are his stuffed animals that your head was lying on.
Oh,
yes,
you can tell, Kai, it gave me courage to go through it, because what happened is that we had to change at the last minute what the act would be for them, and I wasn't supposed to be part of it. So, and we never had time to practice because it was 10 minutes before, and he said, I have this great idea that can replace what we had because we don't have the fire marshal. So we're going to put those 4-inch nail, you're going to lie on them, and we're going to put another one on you. We're going to put this big cement block, and I'm just going to take the sledgehammer, and it won't hurt a bit. And I'm like, okay. And it was between
you'll be dead, and you'll be in heaven with your jazz band.
That's exactly. Jazz Messenger, here I go. It's like, but so finally we did it, and it was in the middle of the concert. So then I went back and conducted some more.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Getting back to Kai's question, though, were you scared when that happened?
No, because he told me it would be fine. So I'm that kind of person.
You just trusted him.
I'm face value. I just say, okay, whatever, I'll be fine.
Well, in this case, luckily, he was right. That you were okay.
True.
I mean, I wonder though. You were in your tails. Did that affect? Did it like poke little holes in your tails?
No. It gave me like a sarro. I don't know what it is.
A nice massage.
No. The white coat that you put as a scientist.
Except it was tie-dyed.
He put you in a laboratory coat.
Oh, yeah. Of course, we did the whole thing. I had like special glasses, so in case some of the concrete would go in my eyes,
or parts of your body. I don't know.
Bummer.
I just remember watching this, and I had no idea this was going to happen either, and
Neither
I just
did
started
any of us.
laughing. The principle of it made me laugh out loud, and then when I saw you actually lay down on a bed of nails, and they put another bed of nails on top of you, making you basically a nail sandwich.
You whipped out and checked your insurance policy right there.
There was a part of me that felt so out of control, like I couldn't stop this bad thing from maybe happening, but I also was like ghoulishly interested in the outcome.
And it was going, who was the runner-up for his job again?
Strangely transfixed at the moment. Well, we're going to have to wrap it up here. And unless anybody else has any other questions they want to ask Alain, I'm going to throw this out there. You don't have to do this, Alain, but I think it would be fun. In the coming weeks, we're going to be talking about the upcoming season, stuff that's going to be happening. I know that you've got the brochure at the printer. It's going to be out fairly soon. Do you want to give us just one little tidbit from next season that we can look forward to? One little spoiler that we can hear from you.
Don't give away too much.
No. There's an American baritone singer that people here don't know yet, but he made the finals twice at the Montreal International Voice Competition, and he sings a lot, and his name is Sidney Outlaw, and he will be joining us. I just want to give a little bit. I don't want to give out like the big names and the big piece, but Sidney will be somebody that people will absolutely love. He's going to come and sing Mahler, of course, because Mahler, I love Mahler.
Mahler.
Yes, it just so happens.
Sid Mahler.
Anyway, but and then in that program there'll be some Brahms also. And
I love that one.
Yeah,
I love that program.
Well, we'll find out. All shall be revealed at a future time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. This program is a production of WGTE Public Media in collaboration with our sponsor, the Toledo Symphony. You can download episodes of this program as a podcast by going to our website at wgte.org/lab. You can also subscribe to us through your podcast app of choice, including both Apple and Google Podcasts. And remember, you can check out all the upcoming events at the Symphony by visiting their website. That's ToledoSymphony.com, and their various social media outlets on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Don't forget Big Bad Voodoo Daddy happening this Saturday at the Stranahan Theater, 8 o'clock p.m. 419-246-8000 or ToledoSymphony.com. My thanks to Zach Vassar, Merwin Sue, and Felicia Canny, as well as our intrepid music director, Alain Trudel. I'm Brad Cresswell. You've been listening to Toledo Symphony Lab here on FM 91.